Hello and welcome to the third and decisive game in this best of three set between Popolim1 and IulianPashsa. This set is from the Age of Sunbros 3 Discord January 1v1 tournament, and we've already seen two great matches, two very long matches in this set. The first match went to Popolim1 playing as Russia against Julian's Sweden, and the second match went back to Julian playing as the Ottos with a very heavy turtle strategy against Popolim1 with the Haude. For this third decisive match, we see Popolim1 once again playing Haude, so taking the run back there, and Julian has moved on to Spain. Let's get started. A little bit of a typo there from Julian. I expect we'll see a reply in a second. Both players have been very, very positive with each other so far during this set. The map for this decisive match is Wallachia, known for its iconic Y-shaped trade route with the 4 trade posts. You've got one available on each of the players' starting land masses, which are quite large, and then there's a small contestable land mass with an extra 2 trading posts, a handful more hunts, and these 2 very large 5,000 coin gold mines. There's also a small sea over on the right with a lot of fish in it. So that's an option for the players as well. So I'm just gonna fix up my scroll settings there. We have Popolim as Haude starting off chopping a lot of wood. The starting travois, where's that gone down? It's gone down out here on the fringe of the map, giving a bit of line of sight to that third contestable landmass. Very similar to the previous game, using the travois to put down a longhouse in useful kind of line of sight permission, just to get a little bit of visibility around one of the sort of key resources that's pushed off to the side of the map. Has chopped 200 wood with their initial villagers and spent that on trade posts, so it's going to be getting that XP income right from the start of the game. He's sending 3 villagers. We'll check the decks in a second. In terms of Julian's start, Julian is starting, here we go, with a 12-10. So no house down, no villagers on wood. The starting wood has also gone to a trade post, so Spain going to be getting extra XP to accelerate their already advantageous shipment curve even further, and the 12-10 age up to really maximize that age up speed. So looks like Spain could be playing this one really aggressive. The deck is called 1v1, and just got those 3 villagers in age 1, the town militia, a smattering of age 2 cards with some units and some resources, but it really is looking like an age 3 focused deck with lots of space there being taken up by those age 3 units, and the towers, 3 towers, the 2 falconets, all great strong shipments there, really taking advantage of Spain's strong home city. If we move over to Popolim's side, the deck name is hidden. That must be a bug. Deck name is land. We've got 3 villages. We've got some resource crates. We've got a smattering of age 2 units, a good selection of age 3 units. It's a pretty balanced deck. I think this might actually be the same deck as in the second game. The explorers are quite close to each other, but neither side has noticed that. We've got Popolim converting a gunman here, fighting another one, picking up a nice 90 food. That's going to be very handy. Spain has got themselves 2 sheep. Not sure how useful that's going to be with what looks like quite an aggressive strategy. Spain has got their age up in already and is now fully focused on chopping wood. We'll see whether that goes towards some houses or an early military building. They do need to get some houses at some point, though, obviously, having gone 12-10. Also stacking up a shipment, so don't want to send town militia, obviously, so saving that shipment to have in Age 2. Haudenosaunee has just clicked up as well, going up with the messenger, so going to be going up fast. May even catch up with Spain here, I think, in terms of the age up times. It's going to be pretty close. Has done a sort of more conventional age one, so has 15 villagers, 2 more just queued up there, playing Spain's 12, so eco-wise has a little bit of an edge. Spain putting up some walls here, so you normally associate the 12-10 with an aggressive play, but it looks like Spain might have other ideas in mind, putting up these walls right across the front of the base. Perhaps just a little bit weary of the last game when Popolim came out really fast with 10 tomahawks at the very beginning of Age 2. Has also got the tower and the 200 gold from aging up with the governor. The tower goes down in the heart of the base, so again it looks like this is going to be played very defensively by Iulian. We've got a little bit of harassment going on over here. The explorer and this gunman are laying into a villager. It's going to take them quite a while, but it's not impossible that they might get the kill here, although the Spanish explorer has come back to shoo them away, and that's going to be effective. The Haudenosaunee war chief backing off now. There's some sort of conflict going on here as a Spanish war dog sees the forward war hut from Haudenosaunee, and we've got the 5 tomahawks coming out from there. 5 or another batch, probably another 5 being trained, although they are pop capped at the moment. Won't have the wood. Oh no, they have shipped wood, so they will have the wood to resolve that. May not get that. No, not going to get the house down in time, so going to be choosing to go in with 7 tomahawks here unless they wait for another batch to come through. Has got another shipment available as well, and this is very similar to what we saw in Game 2 from Popolim. Some really early aggression with those Haudenosaunee using the tomahawks to take some area control in front of the enemy base, deny some hunts. These walls are proving a little bit inconvenient for Iulian here because there's no gate in them. This villager had to walk all the way around there to get away from those tomahawks. Tomahawks have found their way around. Let's just check how much they can see. So they've seen the walls. They've now seen that there's a gap and there's a way for them to get in. They've seen the town centre and the tower as well. So they know it's a case of trying to claim some villages before defences come out from those buildings. Popolim really following up this initial push with more of the same. We've got another 5 tomahawks coming out. We've got the 4 Kanya horsemen being shipped. That's going to make a total of 12 tomahawks in a second. Has done a good job of keeping them all alive. The tower's taking some pot shots, but you can see that the tower is going to need quite a few shots to kill each of these tomahawks. So on its own, not really that formidable defense. The Haudenosaunee force is growing in number here, massing up. These rods might connect with the cavalry. Let's see. Let's see what Julian makes of that. Yeah, able to get in and kill one of the cavalry, but then they back away and the tomahawks sort of swarming together into a big group now. This is quite an intimidating mass from Popolim, moving away from the enemy base now. I definitely think there's potential for them to keep going in, poke a villager. They could probably take on these rods. They could probably pick them off, kind of 2 or 3, back away, go for another 2 or 3, and really start causing problems for these hunts if they were willing to take a few losses. But it's decided to back off just a shade and continue massing up. We've got another full batch of Tomas, and for Aena, is there a second war hut. There's no second war hut, so all these units are having to get trained from the same one war hut or shipped. Again, Popolim doing a kind of similar job to the last game, where their economy is all food and wood. They don't need any gold to work this composition of the Kanya Horsemen, the Tomahawks, and the Hyenas. It's a nice rounded out composition. The Tomahawks in particular very strong. These 3 Kanya come and find a villager working on a wall. You've got to sort of ask how effective these walls are really being. Iulian probably doesn't have the time or wood to invest in building those walls the whole circumference of the base, so it's fairly easy for the enemy units to just find their way around them, and there's not really any disadvantage, not any choke point created or any towers guarding the gaps, so not really any disadvantage to Popolim for just taking the time to walk around them. Popolim, though, has built up the mass to the point where they feel confident and is now pushing through those walls. Let's just take a little look. How much of the base can they see? They can see that this hunt is being taken. They can see the tower in the town centre. They don't know about the lack of buildings. This is only a house, so that's not really going to matter that much. They don't know what the kind of army the Spanish player has prepared in defence. I think the Spanish player could be in a spot of trouble here. They have just made it up to age 3, so we could see those Falks popping out again, just like we did in the very first game. Going for the 5 Lancers, that's going to be their answer to try and sort out this situation. The Lancers will do pretty well against this mass, but potentially just going to lose on the basis of numbers here, especially if the remaining Spanish forces can get cleared out by the Haudenosaunee before the Lancers arrive. Spain choosing to commit everything here. They don't really have an option because their villagers are getting killed, their town centre is surrounded, their economy is being idled here. 11 villages in the town centre to give it maximum attack. Here we go. So the Minutemen are coming out, the Lancers are just about to pop. Haudenosaunee, as we predicted, have been able to take out the existing Spanish army before this pop comes. So they're in a position here to potentially take on the Lancers and the Minutemen and really go for the win. They would certainly have enough. I think they would probably have enough left over. Or if they get their units positioned properly. A few hyenas there getting taking the brunt of the Lancers. Spain is confident enough as ungarrisoned their town centre, thinks they're going to have this one in the bag. I don't know if that's going to work, though. The Tomahawks are pretty much able to finish off these Lancers. There's only 1 left now. There's still 13 Tomahawks left. A couple of Minutemen, but those are going to go down soon. The Tomahawks can keep raiding the villages here, and it's going to really be a question now of the Tomahawks. Let's see how much they can see. They don't really know where the villagers have gone. If Popolim is very, very astute, they'll notice that the town centre isn't firing at full strength, so most of the villagers are out. In fact, the town centre's stopped firing now, so all of them are out. As another shipment of Lancers arrives, but it's only 4 this time, and there are no hyena for them to kill, so they're going to be going all in against the Tomahawks, who sort of counter them okay-ish. Popolim still in age 2, still has this mass, still has some unit shipments to send, and still has batches of Tomahawk coming out of that war hut and coming across the map. Spending time now sieging down these walls and this house. Perhaps thinks the game is in the bag, but obviously score-wise the players are still close. Iulian hasn't thrown in the GG yet by any means. Would really be doing well to go and hunt down these villagers. There's not much to stop them. These Lancers could be challenged if they tried to get in the way, the War Dogs as well. I know it's difficult when everything's going on and you're having to sort of think about what you're doing in a push, but would do well to notice that the town centre has stopped firing, so the villagers are out. These Tomahawks can find these villagers, and it looks like... Oh, for a second there I thought they were going to. If the Tomahawks could find those villagers, take out 4 or 5 more, that would really be making a huge difference in terms of Julian's ability to respond. I noticed as well at some point, I think some of the arriving forces took their time to take down this trade post because Julian hasn't got this trade post to help their XP curve. That shipments curve is going to start to be decelerating now as we get into what the 6th, 7th, 8th shipment of the game. But right now they've got these 2 falconets. The 2 falconets are going to do very well against this mass of almost exclusively Tomahawks. There's no cavalry there to back them up anymore. The Tomahawks are trying to run away, but now the Lancers are able to do what they do best, fighting without being fought back, and so they're able to kill a lot of those Tomahawks. I think we saw about 10 go down there, just retreating from those falconets. I really want to see these Tomahawks turn around and start fighting the Lancers, because the falconets aren't a threat anymore. They are too slow to keep up with these retreating units. Popolim decides not, goes all the way home, and is going to have to remass again. He's already got another back up to 15 Tomahawks though, and 6 Aena. Really, really skilled in terms of keeping the economy growing, keeping the shipments coming in, and keeping those units coming out of that war hut. Has only got the single war hut, hasn't even got a stable to train cavalry, which could be a little bit of a strategic weakness now that these falconets are on the field. And we're starting to see Julian has more or less got away with it. The only real damage, you would say, you know, didn't lose any crucial buildings, didn't have a barracks to take down, didn't lose this tower, lost some walls, sure, but who cares about that? Maybe lost a house, I think, but that's easy to replace. Lost a handful of villages, especially at the beginning of that Haude raid, but we'll be able to kind of pull that economy back now. If we look at the totals, it's 30 plays 27, that's pretty much level. And now has been able to assemble a force pretty much exclusively through these powerful Age 3 shipments. Is absolutely Spain doing Spain things here. And it's a little bit unfortunate because I think the balance of this game is starting to slip away from Popolim here. They had a real opportunity when they had those 13 Tomahawks uncontested in the base, just to kind of a screen width away from the 11 villagers who are still out of the town centre gathering. But now it's going to be a bit tricky for them to figure out what to do. They're under pressure here. They're going to lose this war hut. That's pretty much inevitable. They're deciding to go out onto the water, which is interesting. I like the fact that they're kind of thinking about a long-term plan and not just panicking as this Spanish force comes in. Interesting to see whether they think they have time to age up to Age 3 or whether they need to invest those resources in fighting now. Although something made Julian go and check this coastline. Not sure what it was. Maybe they caught a glimpse of a fishing boat or something. But they've found those docks now. Those are going down. 2 villagers who built them also being chased down by the Spanish army. Very lazy kill there. Took their time about finishing those 2 off. This Spanish force, you know, it's not that huge, but it's got those falconets, and it's taken Popolim a long time to get the wood together to build a stable, to train the Cagnes, to have a go at challenging these falconets. And even in doing so, those Cagnes, they're pretty much all going to have to be sacrificed to get the falconets down. And the falconets were able to get 2 or 3 shots into the middle of this infantry mass. And that's in addition to all the value the falconets got when they were defending the Haude push initially. So absolutely massive value from those falconets. Definitely going to have a big impact, I think, on the result of this game, because the remaining Haude army has been finished off by those lancers, and that's going to be Popolim throwing in the GG there. And you've got to feel a bit for Popolim, because, you know, in that situation, I saw a really nice Age 2 play, a really good rush. It was effective, and you felt like Julian was just teetering on the edge, and there was a second there where I really thought it was going Popolim's way, but that's the extraordinary strength of Spain. That's what Spain are really, really good at, is getting into Fortress and accessing those strong shipments really, really quickly. And Spain were able to get right back into this. Julian, in a sense, doing the perfect defensive job because he had exactly the right amount of defenses. He used everything he had. He used all of those walls, that outpost. It was all necessary to keep him alive and keep him in the game for long enough. And from that point, able to turn things around really nicely, build up a good force, microed the falconets really well, and got a lot of value out of them, and was able to push back. That's going to be the third and final game of this set, going to Julian. It's a 2-1 win for them. Congratulations, really good stuff from both players, and I hope to see you again soon for another casted set from this tournament. For now, goodbye and GG's.